I love monster movies. Don't you? Sorry, a giant dragon was about to eat Tokyo. Fortunately, it was only a movie. Or is it? Here's the first question from Isaac.
Do dragons really exist?
The short answer is, it's a mystery. But some people say yes. The Flat Earth Corner! There was a fire-breathing dragon in the land, and it had terrible wings and scales sort of like my armor, and I defeated it with this magic sword. No villager saw it because it turned invisible. It turned invisible because it was magic. That's like my magic sword. Yes, that's what happened. Hey, who's laughing? I'm not making this up. I'll have at you with my magic sword. Hey, come back here, you coward. Let me have at you with my magic sword. Ah! Dragon attack! Help! There's a dragon trying to attack me! Ah! It's just a dragon kite from China. Cultures from all around the world have dragon legends. From Europe to Asia, artists and performers tell stories about dragons. Some of the dragons look like lizards, some look like snakes, and some of them with wings look like giant bats. So many dragon stories from so many different countries. Today, though, we know that dragons really don't exist, right? Huh? But I said dragons don't exist. That can't be right. My computer says that dragons really do exist. Whoa, maybe there is a reason to all these dragon legends. Well, maybe there's huge reptile monsters. Maybe your questions on reptiles will help me out. I've got to find out the truth.
What's the difference between a reptile and an amphibian?
Well, Livia, reptiles and amphibians are easy to mix up. They're all animals that don't have fur. But there's one big thing that makes them different. Frogs and salamanders are amphibians, which means they start life in the water as fishy-like animals. Then they grow legs and can walk on the ground and breathe air. Reptiles are born looking like little versions of the grown-ups. The babies look so cute, but then they get really big. Okay, not that big, but still big enough to be scary. Marnie had a question about that.
Which was the biggest reptile that ever lived?
The biggest reptile that ever lived? The giant lizard that ate Tokyo, of course. Ice cream mountain? Whoa. Just kidding. But you know what's amazing? Reptiles never stop growing. They grow their whole lives. Hey, come back with my house. Okay, my pet gecko won't get that big. Even though reptiles keep growing, they slow down when they get old. But some can still get pretty big. Who's the biggest? The saltwater crocodile is probably the biggest reptile alive. The biggest turtle is the leatherback sea turtle. Its babies can fit in your hand, but they grow to be as long as your bed. And some pythons can be almost 4 times as tall as I am. People used to think dinosaurs were reptiles. That would have made them the biggest reptiles ever. How's it going, big guy? Today, scientists think dinosaurs were their own group of animals. They weren't reptiles. But I wondered, could dinosaurs be those dragons that we hear stories about? Nope. My research says that dinosaurs were extinct way before humans existed. I guess I have to take some more questions. Here's one from Sammy.
How do some reptiles crawl on walls?
To find out how reptiles climb the walls, please welcome reptile expert Pat Benatar.
Hi, Harrison.
Hey.
Thank you for having me on your show. This is my lizard, Spike.
Oh, I sure hope he doesn't climb my walls. Looks like he'd scratch them all up.
Actually, this is not a wall climber. His feet are not made for climbing walls, but your gecko sure can.
Oh, he sure does. Look, he's climbing. But how come your lizard can't do that?
Your gecko has little hairs on the end of each of his toes that help him to stick to things with static electricity.
Hairs? I don't see any hairs on his feet.
Well, it's kind of like this. If I take this balloon and rub it on you, it'll stick. That's static electricity. That's what we believe happens with geckos. It's still a bit of a mystery.
I wish I could use my hands and feet to walk on walls.
Actually, scientists are working on something like that, but you won't find that in anybody's home anytime soon.
I wonder if I could get some good ideas from... If you were going to climb a wall, how would you do it?
I would put sticky stuff on my hands and feet, and then I'd be able to climb. I would fly. I would put suction cups on my hands and feet.
I would call Superman and he'd lift me up onto the roof.
I can cut a hole in the roof, then I can use the ladder, and I can yell I'm in the top in the world!
Well, I would grab some trampoline. I'd start bouncing and bouncing and bouncing until I got high enough to, like, hurt myself on the roof.
Does that sound safe?
No!
Well, sometimes my mom says that I make her climb the walls. Lance had another question about how reptiles walk.
How do snakes move without legs?
For critters without legs, snakes really get around. The secret is scales. A snake's scales grip the ground sort of like the bottom of your sneakers. And I found out that snakes can move in 4 different ways. By scrunching itself up, then stretching out in front. By wiggling in an S pattern. By sidewinding, which is sort of like flinging itself, or by creeping like a caterpillar. To find out more about how snakes move, it's time for... My Great Challenge! Today, my great challengers are Jordan.
Yeah!
Charles.
Yeah!
Tristan.
Yeah!
And Veronica.
Yeah!
So you're probably wondering why you're dressed up in these snake costumes.
Yeah.
Well, today you're gonna pretend to be snakes and race to the finish line, and the first one to eat their gummy mice will be the winner. Good?
Yeah!
Okay, and Pat is here to provide some tips to get you there the fastest.
Okay, what you guys gotta do is you gotta slither like snakes. Now don't forget, snakes don't have arms or legs, so you've gotta press your parts of your body onto that mat and squirm yourself forward. Move along just like a snake. You guys have a goal. You gotta get to that gummy mouse and eat it.
Okay.
Slither like snakes.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
Get set, and go! Oh, look at this. I think Jordan has a good technique down.
Yeah, he's got it going on there. Look at that. We're getting there.
Oh, Jordan's way ahead. And he's getting the gummy mouse.
Come on, Veronica, you can get up there.
I think Jordan's got it.
Jordan's got it.
We're gonna get there.
And then second place, we got Charles.
Veronica's stuck. Come on, Veronica, slither like a snake. Dig in and move. You can do it. You're almost there. She's almost there. Slither, slither.
Jordan was so fast.
Oh man, she's gonna get
Get
it.
it,
She's gonna get it.
Get the gummy mouse.
There we go.
Do it!
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
So it looks like Jordan's our winner.
Yeah!
Awesome. Okay, so what was your slithery technique that you used to get to the finish line?
What I did is I used my shoulders and put them really into the ground. And I didn't really like just go like this. I actually turned a lot and actually put my shoulders into the ground.
So you like turned your whole body to get into
Yeah.
it? Okay, nice. And what about you?
I tried to do as big zigzags as possible to pull me from side to side to go across.
Right.
I use my feet and pretty much every part of my body that sticks out a bit to dig into the mats and push myself forward.
Well, my technique was that if I go left to right, it would work, but it didn't work as much.
So you guys did great. You basically moved like snakes.
So I have a little prize for every one of you. More gummy mice.
Yeah!
Geez, snakes are so hungry. So, obviously, snakes don't really eat gummy mice. But here's another question about that.
What do reptiles eat?
Reptiles can eat bugs, fish, and small animals. Oh, and snakes can eat big animals like deer. Wait, what? How is it possible? A deer is this big, and a snake's mouth is only that big. How can a snake even do it? How does his mouth not rip open or his head not explode? And, uh-oh, my head's starting to overload. Ah! You're gonna make my head explode. Oh, I think my head would explode if I tried to eat something that big.
Well, actually, when snakes eat, they dislocate the back of their jaws like this so that they can swallow things larger than their heads.
Whoa, so they can just unhook their jaw like that?
Exactly.
Wow, this gives me an idea for... Uh-oh, do try this at home. Want to know how big of a bite you could take if you were a snake? Open your mouth as wide as you can and measure. Now expand it by this much. If you were a snake, you could eat a whole watermelon in one bite. Speaking of weird things about snakes, Paolo had a question.
How can a snake not die if it has poison?
That is weird, but I found out that it's because snake venom is different from poison. It is weird that a venomous snake doesn't die from its own venom inside of it, but I'm pretty sure that Pat knows the answer.
The difference between venom and poison is that venom has to be in the bloodstream for it to work, whereas poison has to be swallowed. Venomous snakes actually inject their venom into their prey, and it helps them to pre-digest their food.
Oh, I saw this video where a venomous snake eats another venomous snake. Is that true?
Yeah, many venomous snakes eat other venomous snakes. Once again, the venom has to be injected into the blood, so that venomous snake, if you got bitten by the other one, that could be deadly. But just by digesting it, it's not a problem at all.
Well, I bet snakes don't taste good.
Believe it or not, some people eat rattlesnakes.
Eat rattlesnakes? Pretty sure there's an easier lunch to catch than that. Speaking of venomous snakes, I found videos of some of the most dangerous snakes in the world, like the puff adder and the black mamba in Africa, the tiger snake in Australia, the desert horned viper in the Middle East, the common krait, and the world's largest venomous snake, the king cobra in Asia. And in North America, the rattlesnake is one of the most poisonous snakes. You didn't bring a rattlesnake with you, did you?
Fooled you.
I always fall for pranks. You know who hates pranks? Snakes. Do not poke, do not provoke. Snakes who cannot take a joke. Don't give a cobra stinky gum or ring an adder's bell and run. Their bite's no fun, their bite's no fun. Don't photobomb a viper class or stick your tongue out at an ass. You'll be sad if it gets mad because that prank could be your last. Their bite's no fun, their bite's no fun. Yeah. I guess snakes can't take a joke. Oh, apparently I can't take a joke very well either. Thanks, Pat, for being on my show.
My pleasure.
Now here's another question from Brianna.
How come reptiles have to go on rocks to stay warm?
To answer your question, I'm here with my friend Little Ray at his own reptile zoo.
Hey Harrison, thanks for having me on the show. And this is the hammer, one of our green iguanas that we have at the zoo.
So reptiles like to sunbathe. Why is that?
Well, reptiles, unlike us, are ectothermic or cold-blooded. We're endothermic or warm-blooded. And what this means is that we can control our own body temperature. If we get too hot, we sweat to cool down. Too cold, we can shiver to warm up. Reptiles like the hammer can't do that. His body temperature is actually controlled by the temperature of his surroundings.
He's looking pretty warm right now. Should we try to cool him off?
Well, he will sit under a heat lamp like this to warm himself up or under the sun, and sometimes he can get really hot, but when he gets too hot, we don't have to do anything to cool him down. He will actually physically move to a cooler area if he starts to get too hot.
This rock is too hot. Ouch. This rock is too cold.
This rock is just right. Whoa, yeah. I saw something really weird that happens to reptiles when they get too cold. Does this really happen?
Well, it does. If reptiles do get too cold, especially if they're living in a place where they're not supposed to be, or there's a cold snap, when they get really cold, their bodies will just start to shut down, and they just can't move very well. So if they're up in a tree, if it's windy, if all of a sudden a branch moves, if they try to walk, if they lose their grip, they just can't kind of re-grab on. And iguanas and other reptiles can fall out of trees.
So do you get them air conditioners in the summer and heaters in the winter?
Well, we do have to control the heat in their habitat, but what we do is we keep the zoo at a comfortable temperature for people, and then we use heat lamps and heat pads, and the reptiles are able to kind of manage their own body temperature on their own. We give them the choice, and they go where they like.
Cool. Next question. It's from Jesse.
Why is a crocodile's back so hard?
Oh, I know the answer. That's easy. So an action hero can cross a river on a crocodile's back. Ow! Ooh, ah! I'm sure there's more to it than that. Let's just ask the crocodile. I don't know. Or maybe Little Ray instead. So, why do crocodiles have hard backs?
Well, Harrison, crocodiles have osteoderms in their skin. And osteoderms are bony plates that are actually inside their skin. You can actually touch them if you want.
Not gonna bite?
Nope, you're gonna be fine. And when you're touching them, you're actually touching skin. These little bumps that you see are bones that are inside their skin, not under their skin, not on top of their skin, but she's covered in skin just like we have, and these are bone plates that they have for armor. Actually, if you want to hold them, just put your hand underneath like that and grab him at the base of his tail, just like that.
So what's the advantage of having the bones inside of the skin like that?
Well, crocodilians are highly social animals. They do live in groups, and they're super powerful, and they will fight. And if you look, base of the skull, their neck, the core parts of their body, the base of their tail, that's where these really heavy armored plates are. If they do get in a fight, all the armor is in the core parts of their body.
Right. Well, you should probably take him back before I get bit.
I got him for you, buddy.
Cool. Well, Yasmina had another question about reptiles.
Are most reptiles dangerous?
So, are most reptiles dangerous? Like, what about this guy? He doesn't look very dangerous to me.
Well, most reptiles are not dangerous, but some of them, when they are dangerous, some can be very dangerous. Venomous snakes, big crocodiles, things like that. This guy, on the other hand, certainly doesn't look like he's overly dangerous, doesn't look too big. However, he has razor-sharp teeth. And a bite from this one, Harrison, you would probably be getting a few dozen stitches if it's a simple bite from him. So, as much as he doesn't look too bad, you do have to respect that different animals certainly can be very dangerous.
So, what does he eat?
Invertebrates, giant walking sticks and things. He eats small birds, lizards, sometimes small mammals that live high in the canopy of the rainforest in New Guinea, where he comes from, lives high up in the trees.
So he doesn't eat people, does he?
No, he doesn't eat people, but he is a cousin of the Komodo dragon, one of the most infamous lizards in the world, and they have been documented actually attacking and killing people.
Yikes. Well, this guy's starting to make me nervous now. What if he gets out?
Well, he won't get out, Harrison, but for the kids out there, if you're ever exploring and you see an animal in the wild, you should just not approach them, leave them alone. Most reptiles are harmless. However, there are some dangerous animals out there that you might not think are.
Right. Well, thanks for being on my show.
Harrison, thanks a lot, buddy. See you later.
See you later, alligator. You'd never hurt me, would you? You're not like a Komodo dragon. Hey! Komodo dragon! That might be the answer to the mystery that started us off.
Do dragons really exist?
The big answer is... sort of. The dragon monsters we hear about in stories aren't real, but some dragon myths probably come from exaggerations of real reptiles. Snakes that open their jaws to eat something bigger than they are. Giant lizards that bite. Lizards whose tongues look like flames. See? I wasn't making it up. Okay, maybe the fire-breathing part. And the magic part. And the invisible part. I guess if you've never seen a snake or a lizard before and someone started telling you about them and they were exaggerating about them, then maybe you'd start to believe that they were actually really giant dragons that existed. Fortunately, there are no dragons in my attic. Did I fool you? Well, reptiles aren't scary, fire-breathing monsters at all. I thought you were a nice reptile. See you next time for more Finding Stuff Out. Welcome to Finding Stuff Out. It's a little crazy in here today. I started a pet sitting service to answer all of your questions about pets. And apparently, sitting doesn't happen during pet sitting. Some of the animals stayed up all night. The dog wants to go out, the cat is hiding, the snake wanted to eat the guinea pig. I can't remember if these food pellets belong to the hamster or the turtle. Plus, someone just called to see if they could bring over a lemur. I don't even know what a lemur is. You're gonna make my head explode. Taking care of pets is a lot harder than I thought. I hope your questions about pets will help me figure out what to do. Here's a question from Brianna.
Why don't people have wild animals as their pets?
The short answer is because some regular pets are wild enough, and some other animals would rather make you their snack than be your pet. Unpettable pets, the worst pets you can get. Sharks that have sharp, snappy jaws, a tiger with long, scratchy claws, a bear who thinks you look delish, a creepy monster-looking fish. Unpettable pets, the kind you shouldn't get. A lion king who thinks you're lunch, a warthog with mean pointy tusks, a vulture who would eat you up. Unpettable pets, they're not for us. It would be cool to ride a pet zebra or have seals swimming in a pool, but why can't we? I promise to find the answers by the end of the show. Now here's a question from Sarah.
Why are black cats bad luck?
The Flat Earth Corner! Black cats aren't really black cats. They're witches who turn themselves into cats. That's right, witch. I know you're in there. In medieval Europe, people believed in witchcraft. When they started getting sick from a disease called the Black Plague, they thought that cat witches were responsible for their bad luck. And we all know that black cats cause it, so we need to get rid of them. Nice kitty. Today, we know that black cats aren't witches, but some people are still scared of them, which is why you see a lot of them at Halloween. But guess what? It turns out that the Black Plague was a disease carried by rats. And you know who eats rats? Cats. So getting rid of black cats made the problem even worse. Ugh, I guess that is a drawback. Here's a question from Jessica.
Can my cat Fluffy live outside and never come back into my house?
I hope so, Jessica, because the cat I'm pet sitting may have escaped. You don't see him anywhere, do you? He's really big, but he still manages to hide somehow. Anyway, so the answer to your question is yes. Your cat could live outside, but it's probably not a good idea. I found out that when cats play, they're practicing their hunting skills, just like these cubs. So, Fluffy has the instincts to survive outside. But some pet owners have their cat's claws removed, which means the cat would have a hard time hunting or surviving. And most cats like being taken care of. Except for that one. This is a bit much. I need the help of an expert. He's an expert on animals, even has his own zoo. Please welcome Seth Falk.
Hi, Harrison. Someone dropped off a macaw here for you to pet sit.
Oh, cool. Can I wear it on my shoulder like a pirate?
Absolutely. Her name is Sapphire, and she's a green ring macaw.
Awesome. So, does it need a cage or can it just fly around freely?
She sleeps in a cage at night, but she needs 8 hours a day of interaction and playtime and lots of special foods.
Right. Oh, I think there's another guest here with a pet. Can you take care of it while I answer another question? Here's a question from Rebecca.
Why do cats stay up at night but sleep in the day?
Tell me about it. Pets don't live on our schedule. You can't just give them a bedtime.
I'm not sleepy. I want another bedtime story.
Cats aren't the only ones that stay up all night. Guess who was spinning on his wheel at 3 a.m.? Oh, sure. Now you're sleepy, Mr. Hamster. He partied all night. I got a plan. I'm gonna separate the pets into 2 groups. Day sleepers and night sleepers. Isn't that smart?
Hey, Harrison. Someone dropped off another pet for you to look after.
Oh, nice.
This is Mochi. She's a chinchilla.
So, is it a day sleeper or a night sleeper?
She's in between. She's up at dusk and dawn.
In between day and night? That means I have an animal up all the time that's always needing my attention.
Yep.
I have a question about that. It's from Daphne.
Why do pets need so much care?
Yeah, that's what I would like to know. Let's hear what you have to say. Let's get some. I'm pet sitting a lot of pets this week, so I need these kids' help. What's the hardest part about taking care of your pet?
My cat, whenever it goes outside, I always have to chase it back inside.
When my 2 cats, Boot and Zazu, fight all night and I have to break them apart, one has to go inside and one has to stay outside.
It's kind of hard to get my bird back in my cage because I have to always chase him around and stuff, and sometimes I have to pick him up. And he bites my fingers really hard.
My chickens poo everywhere, and I have to clean up the poo with a hose. And then in their cage, I have to take it out with a bag.
Well, my dad normally locks tubs in the bathroom. He normally does his business on the floor. Like, there's poo and pee everywhere. I can't even step anywhere. So I accidentally kind of step in it. And then it's a lot of work. And I have to clean my feet afterwards.
Yuck. That's awful. Pets take a lot of work. I better get back to taking care of mine. There sure is a lot to do. Just making sure each pet gets the right food at the right time is really tough.
Here's another one. This is Periwinkle, and he's a tortoise.
Another pet? This is starting to get overwhelming. Daphne had a question about why animals need so much care.
Well, each type of animal has very specialized requirements. So it's about us adjusting to their lifestyle, not them adjusting to ours.
Right. Well, it's really hard to know when what pet needs what and when.
Well, at the zoo, I use a chart. It tells me what time and which animal needs to be fed.
A chart? That gives me an idea for... my great challenge! Today's challengers are Casey.
Yeah!
Luca.
Yeah!
Brianna.
Hi.
And Sabrina.
Hello.
Okay, so today your challenge is to figure out what these pets want. Are you up for it?
Yeah!
Okay, so the 4 pets we have are a parrot, a cat, a hamster, and a dog. But the cat is obviously fake because my cat that was supposed to be pet sitting went missing. Okay, so I have to make a chart to figure out what these pets' favorite toy is and their favorite food, as well as where they do their business. So maybe you guys can help me out.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah,
All right,
cool.
Team 1 is Casey and Luca. You'll be up first, and Team 2 is Brianna and Sabrina. You guys will have to go downstairs first, though, so you can't see their answers.
Got it.
Oh, good. I see they found the cat. The 2 teams have to match the animal to the food it eats, the toys it likes to play with, and the item it goes to the bathroom on. There are 12 possible matches for a maximum of 12 points. Okay, remember, you only have a minute. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get set, go!
Yeah, this, it goes for the dog.
They're bringing the ball to the hamster.
Oh, here.
And the mouse to the cat. Luca can't decide who the paper towel belongs to. Hey, Luca, that's food you're holding. Casey thinks that this toy is for Coco the dog. 20 seconds left.
I think this is for Bird.
Luca's finally making up his mind. And here are some plastic bags for Coco. 10 seconds. The wood shavings are for the hamster and the paper towel for the bird. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Team 1 ran out of time before they could place the cat litter or the bird food. And they also gave the bird the cat food. Ready?
Yep.
Set, go!
This is the hamster. Okay.
The hamster likes to run around in that ball all night long.
This is the dog for sure.
Dog treats, those are the easiest. And a mouse for the cat.
Okay. What would this be for?
Okay, guys.
toy for all
You have
of
40 seconds, 20 seconds left. You're already at 40.
Oh. Okay.
Hurry, hurry.
This is for the parrot, that's for sure.
The paper towels are a toughie. They think the wood shavings are for the hamster and the paper towel for the bird. Hurry, you only have 7 seconds.
Okay, wait, this is for the cat.
4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time's up. Well, that was a close one. Team 2 ran out of time before they could place the poop bag for the dog, food for the hamster and bird, and litter for the cat. And they gave the bird 2 bathroom items. Unless they think the bird eats hamster litter.
Hamster litter? That's yucky.
So, Luca and Casey, team 1, you guys had 9 points. And then, team 2, that's Sabrina and Brianna, you guys had 7 points, so team 1's the winner! As your prize, you guys get to help me clean up all the cages.
Oh, thanks! Yeah. Let's do this.
Just kidding, you don't have to help, but thanks for playing.
Oh, yeah!
Oh my gosh! Next question. It's from Farah.
Is there a difference between my pet rat and a rat on the street?
I checked, and the answer is yes and no. They're both still rats, but they're different. Rats in the street can be mean. They probably have to be to survive. But when people wanted rats for pets, they chose the gentlest, friendliest ones. And when those rats had babies, the babies got even gentler.
Harrison, these rats you're pet sitting make the best pets in my opinion.
Rats are the best pets?
Absolutely. Rats are social animals. That means they have lots of friends. See? Splinter here will make friends with you really quick.
Oh my gosh.
Look at him scurry. Oh, do you have a dog?
Oh, yeah. That's my neighbor's dog, Jackson. Yeah, my mom says he's not allowed in the house, but I'm supposed to be pet sitting him. Do you mind washing the place while I go help that dog? It needs some special help.
Yeah, no problem.
Here's a question from Jacqueline.
I wonder if my dog Gypsy could understand me when I talk to him.
Can dogs understand us when we talk? To find out, I'm here with my friend, dog trainer, Jean Lassard.
Hello, Harrison. Thank you for having me on your show. I hear you need help.
Yeah, well, this is Jackson. I'm pet sitting him, and he won't calm down. Maybe you can help.
Yes, I'm sure I can help.
I don't know what to say to get him to calm down.
Okay, because he's barking at the fence, huh?
Yeah, so, like, do dogs speak a different language or something, or do they not understand us, or what? Because I've tried to calm him down before.
Well, yes, they can understand lots of words and gestures and signs. You just have to teach them.
Okay, well,
let's teach Jackson not to bark. So you call him to you, have him sit. Jackson, sit. Does he do it? No? Okay, well, I'll use magic. Look what I got. Sit. Oh, this works well. You want to try?
Does the treat just, like, help him, motivate him to sit?
It will change his emotion.
So what should I say?
Well, if he's barking at the fence, let's say, you can call him to you. Jackson, ask him to sit. He will do it. And treat him, reinforce him.
That was a treat that you gave him?
Absolutely. And I'm gonna wait till he's silent, and I'm gonna reinforce the silence.
Right, so when he's silent, that's when you give him the treat?
Yeah, exactly. So you'll have him do whatever you want with this.
Really?
You can teach him when you bark at the fence, come to me, sit, and
So sit.
give him a treat.
And then sit.
Ask him to sit.
Sit.
Yes,
Give him a treat.
Great. So while he's eating, he's not barking.
Yeah.
Huh? And if you do this every time, he'll bark less and less and listen to you more and more.
So not only did I learn to get Jackson to stop barking, I did it by teaching him a word. Sit. I guess they can understand what you say if you teach them what it means.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks for helping me with Jackson, but Sarah has another question about dogs.
Let's look at that.
Why does my dog Rocco wax his tail when somebody comes over?
Yeah, why do dogs wag their tails?
Well, let me show you my dog. Billy, Billy. They wag their tail to communicate.
Right. So, dogs wag their tails because they're happy.
Well, not only because they're happy, they could wag their tail because they're anxious, because they're mad. It depends.
Okay, so I can pet a happy dog like Billy, right?
No, no, no.
But I thought you said...
You have to ask first.
Right.
Because you never know. The dog could be dangerous.
So, can I pet Billy?
Yes, you can.
Awesome. Thanks for helping me find stuff out.
Welcome.
Hey, Seth, is everything okay with the pets? Seth? Huh. I guess he stepped out for a second. Well, I'll just take another question. It's from Noah.
My grandma has a pet monkey and I want to know why it is so wild around other people.
Your grandma has a wild monkey? Faster, Mr. Bananas! I'll be late for bingo! I hope your grandma doesn't bring her pet monkey here. I've already got my hands pretty full. Whoa!
Hi, Harrison. Someone dropped off another animal.
It's a monkey!
This is actually a lemur, so it's related to a monkey, but a bit different. And his name is Julian. He's a ring-tailed lemur. So I think the owner made a mistake, because this animal is definitely wild. It doesn't make a good pet. These guys like to finger paint with their poop all over the house.
Ew! So I guess having a lemur as a pet wouldn't be a very good idea.
Definitely not. They belong at the zoo or definitely in the wild. Do you want me to take this one back to my zoo and look after it there?
Yeah, that'd probably be a really great idea.
Okay, when the owner gets back, I'll talk to them about what might make a more appropriate pet than a lemur.
It's pretty wild. Well, it's already getting a little stinky in here, but before you go, Noah had a question. Why are monkeys so wild? Do you know?
Well, monkeys are wild animals. They belong in the jungle, where there's things for them to do all day, like searching for food and running away from predators. In a house, it's really boring.
Right.
So it makes them go crazy.
So, Noah, your grandma should probably get a tame pet. Probably something like a cat. Well, not that cat. Anyway, thanks for being on my show.
My pleasure, Harrison.
I think I know the answer to Brianna's question now.
Why don't people have wild animals as their pets?
The big answer is... some animals just can't live with us. If we try to make them adapt, they could get crazy and sad, or they could even get sick and die. And I also know another reason why we don't have wild pets.
Oh, hey, Harrison, I'm a little busy right now.
My friend Little Ray owns a zoo, like Seth. Can you believe I know 2 people who own zoos? Hey, Little Ray, Sarah asked why we couldn't have wild animals as pets.
Well, Stuart here, my American alligator, actually used to be somebody's pet. And he was a baby alligator that got too big.
Its owner must have been some evil villain who wanted to guard his lair. Who was he?
As a matter of fact, he was a teenager.
Yikes! Did Stuart eat him?
No, Stuart started like one of our little alligators.
Aw, look at the little guy.
A year and a half later, he just got too big for the teenager and was given to us at the zoo.
Does it happen often that people have to get rid of wild pets?
It happens a fair bit, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of facilities like this, and many animals like Stuart end up being released on the side of the road, in parks, and even in ecosystems where they're not supposed to be.
What happens to them?
Sadly, a lot of them end up passing away and not surviving, but in some cases, they actually end up in ecosystems where they don't belong and they do survive and they start to breed. Either case is terrible for the ecosystem and for the animals that are there.
Aren't you scared he might eat you?
Well, I'm very respectful of Stuart. Stuart and I have been working together since he was very, very small. And, you know, I don't take any chances with him. And he is very social, so he tolerates me. And I love him.
Thanks for your help, Little Ray.
Hey, thanks, Harrison. Have a great day.
Goodbye, Stuart. Please don't eat Little Ray. Whew. That sure was a wild day. And I sure hope I answered all of your questions about pets. Huh. It says there's a baby wildcat loose in my neighborhood. It looks just like... Uh-oh. Maybe the kitty I was pet sitting wasn't a kitty at all. Seth, could you come back and help me with something? See you next time for more Finding Stuff Out, I hope. Here, kitty, kitty. Nice kitty. Oh, here, kitty. Please don't hurt me. I just found out something shocking. Are you sitting down? Here's a question from Kayla.
It would be fun to have a tail. Why can't humans have a tail?
Well, guess what? The short answer is, we might. I've never seen a person with a tail, unless you're all hiding them under your clothes. So, how is it possible for people to have tails? I've asked some experts to help me get to the bottom of this mystery. And I'll find out the answer by the end of the show. But for now, let's get some... You all would like to have a tail, right?
Yeah!
If you could have any type of tail, what would it be?
It would be a rooster tail because I can wake people up at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Pretty early.
A beaver tail because I like to swim and it helps them swim better.
I would have a kangaroo tail, because while it be hopping, I could have my own private roller coaster.
It would be a dog tail because I like dogs and they wiggle it and I like wiggling.
A lemur tail because they're weird looking. And lemurs stick their tails up so that other lemurs can find out where they are.
It would be like a monkey tail because they could like wrap around things and grab them, like this.
Mine would be a polar bear tail, like this, because it camouflages and I like camouflage.
Nice. That's pretty cool. I wish I had a tail. Oh, also, I heard these stories about girls with fish tails. Flat Earth Corner!
I saw a mermaid on me last voyage. She had silky brown hair and a tail like a fish. She looked just like this. Oh, a girl like a fish is every sailor's wish. A girl with a tail who can swim like a whale.
Back in the day of pirate ships, sailors thought they saw mermaids in the sea. But today, we know mermaids don't exist. Some experts think what the sailors really saw were manatees. Manatees are mammals. Like us, they have to come up to the top of the water for air. And they do have fishy tails, but manatees don't exactly look like mermaids. But back in the days when sailors believed in mermaids, only guys could be sailors. So maybe they just hadn't seen a girl in a long time. Sure does look like my Aunt Gladys, though.
Why are tails useful?
Well, Evelyn, if I had a tail, I could sure think of a lot of uses for it.
Harrison, clean your room.
Sure, Mom. There's not one simple answer. There's lots of answers because animals use their tails for different things. And so many animals have tails. Let's see. Porcupines, beavers, elephants, lions, dinosaurs, pigs, dogs, foxes, rabbits, lizards, armadillos, cats, squirrels, pigs. Oh, wait, I already said pigs! Ah! You're gonna make my head explode! To find out what animals really use their tails for, please welcome my first special guest of the day, animal expert Jennifer Sear Devine. Whoa, is that a real skunk?
It absolutely is. This is Iris, a 5-month-old striped skunk that was found orphaned in the wild, and she now stays at the Eco Museum Zoo where we both work, actually.
But she's not gonna stink up my attic, is she?
No, you really don't have to worry about that. Not only is she a trained striped skunk, she's also being descented, so you really don't have to worry about it. She's an educational animal, so we actually bring her into classrooms and for special activities. So really, your attic's okay.
So Evelyn was wondering why tails are useful, and specifically, why is a skunk's tail useful?
Now, a skunk's tail is pretty useful because just the coloration and the fact that it's bushy is a warning sign to other animals that they have to stay away. Now, if we still ignore that warning and we continue to get close to the striped skunk, well, that's when they lift their tail and spray that awful smelling musk liquid.
You don't want that because it's gonna smell bad.
Oh no, absolutely. It's very, very strong. And most animals, even the skunks themselves, don't like to have that smell near them.
Right, so they use their tail to protect themselves from predators, like as a warning, right?
Exactly.
Can I touch it?
Absolutely. Here you go.
Oh, it's kind of, that's soft.
It's a little bit rigid,
It's
yeah.
kind of like straw.
So she'll automatically, as soon as we touch her hind legs, she'll lift her tail a little bit.
Right.
There are actually other animals that also use their tail as a warning sign, such as beavers. You might know that beavers will smack the surface of the water to make a loud sound that scares away any potential predators.
So what kind of animal is this?
Well, this is another one of the educational animals from the Eco Museum Zoo. It's what we call an American marten. And as you can see, they have quite a long tail. Now, what do you think it's used for?
I don't know, like what is this tail useful for?
Well, have you ever noticed squirrels and chipmunks going along the electrical wires, sort of like tightrope walkers?
Yeah.
Well, these guys have a tail for agility and balance as well, just like squirrels and chipmunks.
Okay.
So when they're climbing up into trees or standing on a long branch and jumping from branch to branch, they need to be able to have good agility and good balance in order to do so.
Right.
Would you like to touch her?
Sure.
She has quite lovely soft fur. And the tail, you can see, is quite soft as well.
Whoa.
They'll usually hunt on the ground, but they do climb up into trees, especially to get away from predators.
So what would happen if it lost its tail?
Well, like any animal that's supposed to have a tail, she would have a lot of difficulty without her tail. So this, of course, she wouldn't have as much agility or as much balance when she's walking along the branches, hopping from tree to tree or branch to branch.
Right.
So tails for such animals are extremely important.
So what kind of turtle do we have here?
Well, this is actually what we call a common snapping turtle. Now, if you look at his head, there are bumps everywhere, scales everywhere, but even down on his tail, there are scales everywhere as well.
Well, that's a really long tail for a turtle. I wonder what that's useful for.
You're right, common snapping turtles have very long tails, and actually what's neat is the tail is actually armored. So they have these very large scales that stick out of the tail. This is kind of like armor on the tail end. So although the head end is protected by that beak, that sharp beak,
can snap.
and he can snap with that beak, the tail end is protected a little bit by these extra scales.
Right.
So these guys do look very prehistoric, and they've been around since before the time of the dinosaurs.
Whoa.
They've changed very little since then. So their tail is a good way for them to protect that hind end. There we go.
Go, turtle,
You'll also notice this common snapping turtle will use its tail almost like a third leg.
Oh, really?
Like an extra limb to help lift its shell off the ground in the wild. It also uses that tail to go wandering around in the mud in the bottom of rivers, in the bottom of marshes and wetlands. So pretty practical tail all in all,
So
right?
it's a useful tail.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for teaching me about tails and for being on my show.
Well, thank you so very much for having us. It was an absolute pleasure.
Oh, yeah. Now, here's another question. It's from Noah.
Why do some animals have a pom-pom and some have a tail?
Pom-pom tails are really cool. And I found out there's actually a reason that rabbits have them instead of long tails. Carnivores. That's what you call animals that eat other animals. Rabbits can signal other rabbits with their tails. Watch out! Someone's trying to make us into their lunch. Don't worry, no one's gonna make you into a sandwich, Mr. Fluffums. I thought of another reason why a pom-pom tail could be useful. It's time for put nature to the test, today I have 2 predator challengers, Giacomo
Roar.
and Trey.
Roar.
And we also have 4 prey. The first 2 are Tatiana and Taya. They have short little bunny tails. And what if bunnies had long tails? We have Sierra and Xavier, the experimental bunny rabbits. So today's challenge is for the predator to catch as much prey as they can in 1 minute. But there's a catch. You have to catch them by their tails. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, are you guys all ready?
Yes.
Okay, Trey, you're up first. Everybody get to their starting positions. And remember, you have to be fast to catch your prey. And you guys have to be fast if you want to get away. Okay, ready? Set, go. Here comes Trey, and he looks hungry. Oh, Sierra almost got out. These bunnies are pretty quick. Oh, one's out. He's got one. Run away! Maybe someone else is an easier lunch to catch. Okay, who's it gonna be? Nope. She's a quick little bunny. Oh, so close. Our predator's having a tough time. Oh, he's got another one. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's it. Okay, so Trey got 2 tails, and now it's Giacomo's turn. Get into your ready position. Are you ready? Set, go! Let's see if Giacomo can beat Trey's score. Oh, almost got 1 tail already. Oh, yes! Giacomo's got 1 tail. Almost has 2. Oh, so close. Giacomo's a fierce competitor. I'll get you, you little bunny, you. Almost. Yes! Giacomo has another tail. And he has some time. Oh, so close. Oh! Run, prey, run. This bunny really doesn't want to be a snack. Slow down, lunch. 10 seconds remaining. Gotcha. That's a 3rd tail for Giacomo. Can he get the last prey? Ooh. Oh, yes, I think he's got it. No. Okay, time's up. Giacomo, you got 3 tails and Trey only got 2, so it looks like you're the winner.
Wow.
So, what was the hardest part about the challenge?
I think it was getting the smaller tails off.
Smaller tails were harder to get. And what do you think was the hardest, Trey?
Taking off the smaller tails.
Why do you think that was the hardest part?
Because they're smaller to fit my hand.
Right, it's harder to get your hand around the small ones.
Yeah.
So the other reason animals like rabbits have pom-pom tails may be because it makes it harder for predators to catch them. Well, congratulations to Giacomo, you're the winner, but really, all of you are winners because you did it for science and you showed that a shorter tail is harder to catch than a longer tail. Thanks for playing. Well, here's a question about an animal you really can't catch by the tail.
Why do geckos lose their tails?
I don't know where I put my tail. Can you see it? Oh well. Geckos can lose their tails, but it's not because they forget where they put it. A gecko has a long, easy-to-catch tail. But if a predator chomps it, the gecko can just drop his tail and run away.
Run! Save yourself! But I can't just leave you here. Don't worry about me!
The tail still wiggles for a while on its own, so the predator doesn't realize the gecko escaped. It's really stressful for a gecko to lose its tail, and it gets bullied by other geckos. So never pick up a gecko by its tail, because it could get scared and the tail could fall off. Yeah, you want to keep your tail, don't you? Oh. I wish I'd known where I put my lizard tail. Oh well, I guess I'll take another question. This one's from Emma.
What is inside a rattlesnake rattles?
Here's what I found, Emma. A rattlesnake shakes its tail when it feels threatened. to say, back off before I bite you. Their tail rattles are made of stuff sort of like our fingernails. And they're hollow, like these beads. When a snake tail moves, the rattles clap together, sort of like this. I feel a song coming on. Tails to avoid a scorpion who's annoyed. It pinches and it stings, I hate those things. Tails to avoid a skunk with lots of stink down there. A rattlesnake who says beware. Tails to avoid a dinosaur with spikes or any type of animal whose other side can bite. Tails to avoid. Tails to avoid. Now here's a question from Tiffany.
Why are kangaroos' tails long?
Well, Tiffany, I found out that a kangaroo's tail helps it jump, but I can't figure out how. To help out, please welcome animal expert Seth Falk.
Well, I think I can help you out with that question.
Whoa, I mentioned a kangaroo and there one is.
Yes, this is Jasmine. She's a red kangaroo, and she's just a baby.
Can I pet it?
Absolutely. She is used to people because she lives at a zoo. But in the wild, you would never want to pat a wild kangaroo. You would scare them, and they would give you a good kick.
Like that?
Absolutely, yes. Whoa.
Kickboxing is natural to kangaroos. When they fight, they can actually balance their entire body on their tail, kicking forward with their powerful legs. Ouch! So, how does its tail help it jump?
The tail gives the kangaroo a big boost, sort of like a pogo stick. It helps it jump really high. Just watch how she can sit up all the way on her tail for a snack. Oh, there we go. Now we're doing a good one. Oh, see? You're so good. So smart.
So, what's so special about the kangaroo's tail?
Well, this tail is full of lots of strong muscles which help them hop really high. It also is a place where they store food and water because they're from the desert and you never know when your next meal is.
So, it's like a stomach, but in their tail.
It's a lot like a camel's hump, where camels also store food and water in their humps.
Whoa.
Very cool.
Well, thanks for helping me find stuff out.
No problem. Thanks.
If you don't stop eating, you'll get a taily ache. Now here's a question from Hannah.
Is there a bone in an animal's tail?
Well, Hannah, to find out the answer to your question, I'm here with my friend, Hans Larson, in this museum. Hey.
Pleasure to be here.
So, Hans is a paleontologist, and part of his job is to find out why animal bones are the way they are. So Hannah was wondering, do animal tails have bones?
Lots of animals have tails, and all animals with backbones and bones inside them have tails, and all those tails have bones in them.
Okay, great. So what do we have here?
Well, here's a little quiz that I set up. And so guess what the animals are and where their tail is.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess this guy's obviously a snake, but like the whole thing is a tail, isn't it?
Well, it might look like a tail, but actually the tail for snakes is really short. This guy, the tail starts right here and just goes to there.
Right, oh, right where like the ribs stop?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna guess this guy is a cat.
Exactly, this is the house cat.
And this one just looks like a baby cat, like a smaller cat. It looks like identical.
Yep, this is the cat, and that's a skunk.
Oh, that's a skunk.
Totally different animals, but they kind of look similar. The tail for cats is really used for lots of jumping and running around.
Right. And I know the skunk uses its tail for signaling.
Yep.
Okay, and then we have this big one. And the tail's pretty flat. And oh, it has the beaver teeth. I'm gonna guess it's beaver.
This is a beaver.
Is that like a rat?
Well, it's a muskrat.
Oh, okay.
But it's closely related to the beaver. And both of them swim in the water. And the muskrat tail is long and skinny, like a rat. That's why it's called the muskrat.
Yeah.
But the beaver tail is a beaver tail.
It's flat.
It's like a paddle.
And what about this guy? His tail is really short.
So this is a really cool animal. It's called the badger.
Yeah.
They dig burrows. They spend a lot of time underground.
So that's why the tail's short, because they don't really use it?
Exactly.
And then this thing is like a chipmunk or something.
Close, it's a squirrel monkey.
A squirrel monkey. So like they have this really long tail and they're like, is it just like a smaller monkey?
Well, it's a mini monkey, but this tail is really important because they use it for climbing, they use it for jumping to keep balance,
Right.
They use it for talking to each other.
But monkeys are like really closely related to us and they have this long tail and we don't really have a tail at all. We don't really need a tail. But what if we want a tail? That's what Kayla wants to know.
It would be fun to have a tail. Why can't humans have a tail?
The big answer is...
We do have tails.
I knew it, but how come I don't have a tail? Am I the only person without a tail?
I can assure you, Harrison, you have a tail.
I don't. I can't see it. It's back here somewhere. I can't see it.
Come on, Harrison, I'll show you where your tail is.
Okay.
In us, our tail is right here.
That's our tail? It's tiny. I didn't even know we had that.
Well, it's really tiny, and it only holds a couple muscles in it, so we don't do much with our tails.
And what about this guy? He doesn't have much of a tail either.
This is our gorilla, which we call George, and his tail is also really short.
Right. How come the tails stick in and not out?
Because they would get in the way, because we stand up.
Right.
And I'll show you why. So,
Sure.
pretend that you're an animal.
So like a dog or something.
So if you had a tail, it would come out your back like this.
Weird. And what about if I was standing up?
Where would your tail be?
I guess it would stick right into the ground.
It would be in the way.
So I guess it'd be a problem. I've always wanted a real tail. Ours aren't very exciting. But if you want to find your own tail, here's how. Uh-oh. Do try this at home.
To find your tail, you just take your hand,
Right.
put it on your back, and slide it all the way down to where it stops.
Right. Oh, I can barely feel it there, but one time I fell and it really hurt.
Yeah, the tail, even though it's really small, is also really delicate too.
So I guess even though our tails don't stick out and we can't see them, we should still take care of them.
Right, and we can even break them.
Do you think science will ever allow me to grow a tail like a monkey or something?
Sorry, Harrison, you'll never have a long tail.
I guess I'll never be wagging my tail. Thanks for watching Finding Stuff Out. On the other hand, though, it would be kind of weird if I was the only one with a tail and nobody else had one. But maybe if we all had tails, that would be okay.
Yeah, it'd be hard to drive a car.
Yeah, it would be hard to drive a car. It'd be hard to do a lot of things with a tail.